Begonia people.
Hey, no, no, hey, no.
Today I have a really cool video for you guys that I have been wanting to make for a really long time, but I didn't want to make it before I was ready, if you know what I mean. Like, I wanted to perfect it before I made this video. So, I mean, if you saw the title, you already know that this is going to be a video on how to propagate begonias. And this is something that has taken me... It really took me a while to really get down how to propagate begonias. So I thought I'd make a video for you guys showing you how to do it from my experience so you can save some time with attempting on how to do this, because I wasted a couple months with bad results, but I can confidently say I have got it down. I know how to do it, and I'm going to share it with you today. If you don't know already, hi, my name's Jen, and I make videos about plants. I collect plants, I grow plants, I love plants. I actually sell plants now too. I have a little planty Etsy shop, which will be linked down below. It's Jen's Plants 269, so, you know, keeping it the same here. If you end up liking this video and you find it useful or helpful, then please just hit the subscribe button, because I guarantee you I will have a lot more content similar to this that will be really helpful for you guys, because I've been doing this for a few years now and I'm finally mastering things. So I'm really excited to share my tips with you guys in the future. But before I talk for another hour, let's just get into the video. So before I start, I want to mention there are a few different ways to propagate begonias, and I'm going to be showing you pretty much one way, but I'll be telling you about the other ways, but they didn't work for me, so I'm showing you the one that works for me. And there's also different types of begonias out there. As you probably know, there's Rex begonias, there's rhizomus begonias, there's angel wing begonias, there's bush begonias. Are those different? I don't know. But I'm going to be showing you today how to do angel wing begonias and how to do Rex / rhizominous. I cannot say that word I just can't, I'm sorry. There's technically three different ways that you can propagate begonias. The first way would be seeds, obviously. To me, that is not the most convenient way unless I'm like buying them, but like I really don't want to wait for my begonias to flower, for me to pollinate them and then wait for them to be fertilized, and it just makes me anxious. It makes me anxious. So, another way that people kind of will try to propagate begonias is by taking a stem cutting of a leaf and sticking it in water. And then you'll kind of see like little babies grow at the bottom of the stem, kind of like a peperomia would. For peperomias, I find that to be a really good way to propagate. But for begonias, for me, once you transfer that baby into soil, like, it just doesn't live for me. It just like ends up not making it, because it's like growing in the water. So if you like convert it to air, then it's gonna be like, what? So yeah, so the last option that you pretty much have is taking a leaf cutting and growing it literally from the leaf itself. So I'm obviously going to show you and explain to you how this works, but you might be scared when I mention leaf cutting, because I was at first, like a few months ago I was, and I like didn't even want to try it because I was like what? But trust me, like, it's actually easier than you may think. So don't be scared, stick around, because trust me, I have a pretty high success rate with this method, so it's definitely worth a shot. Okay guys, so before I get into showing you my propagations and successes and all of that jazz, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this step by step, so do not worry, we got this. So Here I have this beautiful begonia. I love it. The undersides are a dark red. The tops are like, depending on the light you give them, they're like a greeny, burgundy, very iridescent. It's crazy. The new leaves come in like very light and they have like this very cute pattern on them. So I love this begonia, so why wouldn't I want more? So the first thing that you're going to do is you're gonna get your little scissors, and you're gonna find a good leaf. You don't want to find a dying leaf because obviously like it's not going to be good for propagating if it's already dying. So you're going to want to find a healthy leaf. I like to take kind of big ones so it can make more room and light for the little ones coming in. So I'm going to take this leaf right here. I'm going to cut it as close to the bottom as I can. And this is what I have. And the stem's pretty long on this. So what I'm going to do is chop the stem so that it's about like 2 inches, maybe not even. No, I'd say cut it so that the stem is like this, about an inch. Yeah, I'd say an inch. Now you're gonna wanna grab some dirt. You can use different substrates. I have found that dirt works the best. I've tried perlite, and I've tried sphagnum moss, and I've tried dirt. In my opinion, dirt works the best. Who would have thought? So what you're gonna do is just take your leaf, you're gonna stick the stem into the soil as far in as you can. And that's it. That's literally it. You just stick it into the soil like that. And I like to use like containers like this, not things that are too easy draining. And my mix in here of soil is peat moss, a tiny bit of orchid bark, horticultural charcoal, tiny bit of perlite. So it's like pretty water retaining, which is good for these because they need like to be pretty moist, and even they really prefer to be humid too when they're propagating. So you put this in here and the babies are gonna grow out from right here, from the center. So sometimes what I'll do is cut a little bit of this outer leaf off because it sometimes ends up dying off anyway, but I'm just gonna leave it on for right now. So after this step, what you're gonna wanna do is like really spray down the soil, get it nice and moist, and maybe even keep it in a propagation container if you can. If not, no biggie. After this step, it'll probably take you a few weeks to really start seeing little babies coming out. But once they kind of get established, they grow pretty fast. So here's an example of a bunch of begonia leaves that I put in some soil. And I would never recommend putting them this close together, but I just was limited on space. And pretty much, if your begonia leaf doesn't rot within the first 2 weeks, then it's pretty much gonna work out. What they do is they grow little roots off of the stem that you stuck in there, and then the babies are gonna grow from the tops. And these have been in soil for a few weeks, so I know that they're definitely pretty much all gonna make it. So this is pretty much the stage after that. And if you look close, here's a bunch of little baby begonias. Oh my god, it makes me so happy. But if you look close, you can still see the original leaves in here from where they're growing from. And to me, that's super exciting. These have been in here for, I'd say, probably 3 months. Maybe more, maybe less. I really don't know. But they're doing so great. I keep them in my little greenhouse. I water them every now and then. There's no drainage holes, so I don't want to overdo it. But I do keep them pretty moist. And I keep airflow in there with a fan. And they're seriously loving it. So this is success. Now, this is the furthest I've gotten, pretty much. These little begonia babies I grew from a leaf, and they are doing so well. I have like 4 in here, and these are about 4 months old, I'd probably say, maybe 5. I'm not entirely, maybe less, I'm not entirely sure, But it was pretty easy to grow these guys. I just give them bright indirect light and I water them when the soil is like almost completely dry. So that's a success. Now the last begonia I'll show you how to propagate is an angel wing begonia, such as this Begonia maculata Wyetii, and these are not going to grow from the leaf, if I'm not mistaken. I've tried it before and it did not work. So what I did was I cut it at a node, and then I just stuck it in this sphagnum moss, and I'm really hoping it's going to work out. I've done it before and it's worked out, so if you've done it this way before, let me know. It should work, but sometimes begonias don't like sphagnum moss, so we'll see. But this is another way that you can do it. With angel wing begonias, you can just cut the stem and then stick it in water or stick it in sphagnum moss or soil or wherever you want, and it should just grow like that. So lastly, I'll show you another way that you can propagate begonias. I have this huge like scrapbook container, and I have a bunch of little begonias in here that have been in here for, I'd say, like 3 weeks, maybe a month. And they are in perlite, and they're not doing as well, but they're still like growing. So this one's dead. See, it happens. They're not doing like great, but they're still like putting out roots. I like pick them up sometimes and look at the stems to make sure there's roots on there, and they are doing well. So I don't know if I'd recommend perlite, but it can be done. It can. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you find it helpful, because I've struggled with propagating begonias for a very long time, and I finally can do it. As you can see, those little babies, it makes me so proud and so happy. So please let me know if you gave this a try already, or if you're planning on giving this a try. Just try it, come on. I have like a I'd say like over 50% success rate, which is not too bad. I'd say pretty much 75. So I definitely encourage you to try this method out. It's super fun to just make more plants out of the ones you already have. So thank you for tuning in. Check out my new Etsy shop, and hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. And that's it. Have a great day.